Earlier this morning, I came across some numbers from GBP Daily breaking down Rodgers versus Love, their first 45 starts, which made me want to investigate their first 3 seasons and the touchdown-interception ratio. And I was honestly surprised. Here we have it. You can see on the left, Aaron Rodgers, through his first 3 years starting. These are the regular season starting the first 3 seasons since 2010. 86 touchdowns for Rodgers, 31 interceptions, a 2.77 touchdown interception ratio. Those numbers are rounded slightly there. And then for Jordan Love, he still has 4 games left in this season, but up to this point, through his first 3 years starting, 79 touchdowns to 26 interceptions. And this was the number that I was honestly somewhat surprised about. Jordan Love with a 3.04 touchdown to interception ratio during those games, which means through his first 3 years as a starting quarterback in the NFL, Jordan Love has a better touchdown to interception ratio than Aaron Rodgers. And I think, as I brought up earlier, Jordan Love and his interceptions during the playoffs, 5 TDs, 5 interceptions during his first 2 years in the playoffs, no doubt that has impacted his overall outlook because those are the biggest games, those are the biggest moments that most people are watching. But what Jordan Love has done this season has taken his game to such a level where you could make the argument that through his first 3 years, regular season, he has been better when it comes to his ability to not throw interceptions compared to Aaron Rodgers, who is the all-time great when it comes to touchdown interception ratio. And so I think that this should impact the way that Jordan Love is viewed around the league because I think a few of those games, there's no doubt he's had some interceptions, but every player has interceptions, and I think this proves just how good Jordan Love has been during his first few years. And if you look at Rodgers, he got better as the years went on. In those first 3 years, as I said, 2.77 touchdown interception ratio. And I was curious to see how he has finished off his whole career up to this point. And currently, Rodgers, through his whole career, has a 4.25 touchdown to interception ratio. So that improved after his first 3 years starting, which I don't think is a surprise as quarterbacks develop and grow, get smarter, know what they can and can't get away with. And I think we're seeing that this year from Jordan Love because right now, 22 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions, and it's really been this season so far that has taken him ahead of Rodgers through his first 3 years. Because if you look to last year, after his first 2 regular seasons, Rodgers did have a better touchdown to interception ratio. And there are still 4 games remaining, so this could shift. This may not end this way, but even if Love threw 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in the final 4 games, which I would say would not be great, he would still finish his first 3 seasons with a better touchdown interception ratio than Aaron Rodgers. And so I think sometimes when we are evaluating quarterbacks, there's no doubt that what a player has done for a consistent, decade plus, like a guy like Aaron Rodgers, you're going to value him at a different level, of course. And with Jordan Love, it's still early in his career. And so it would feel too early to come out and say he's better than Rodgers, but statistically, his touchdown interception ratio has been better, at least during the regular season. Playoff-wise, that has not been the case. But one thing I do think we also have to take into account, Jordan Love has played in more playoff games during his first 2 years than Aaron Rodgers did in his first 2 years. Aaron Rodgers did not make the playoffs in his first year as a Packers starting quarterback. Jordan Love did. And so Jordan Love has more playoff experience than Rodgers had in his first few games, but he's also still more inexperienced than Rodgers when Rodgers, started to accumulate some of his playoff games. But when we look here in Rodgers' first playoff game, it was in his second year starting against the Arizona Cardinals. The Packers lose that game, but Rodgers in his first game throws 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. And then the following season, in his third year starting, it's the Super Bowl year. Packers win that Super Bowl. And so during that run where the Packers play in year 3, those playoff games in the Super Bowl, Rodgers had 9 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And so in his first 3 years in the playoffs, his first 3 years starting, 2 years in the playoffs, Rodgers finished with 13 touchdowns to 3 interceptions in his first 5 playoff starts. And so I do think that the way that we are going to view Jordan Love when it comes to the end of this season, the end of the playoffs, it is largely going to be how does Jordan Love play come playoff time? Because even if he has these numbers and if they finish off the same and he has a better regular season, TD to interception ratio during his first 3 regular season, starts, if he comes in his first playoff game and throws, 0 touchdowns and 3 picks, I do think that narrative about him being a turnover-worthy prone quarterback will continue just because in the biggest moments that you're going to get judged even more so. I do think that Jordan Love will play better coming into this year playoffs. I think that he's taken a massive step forward in his third season starting, and I think that we're starting to see what we can expect from Love going into future years. And so that's where I think that this idea that Love's a majorly, turnover-worthy quarterback, it's not the case. And at the end of the day, Jordan Love is creating his own path. Every player, every quarterback is going to take a different path. And so even if Jordan Love had a bad playoff game this year, or the Packers don't do what they want to do come playoffs, that's not to say that Jordan Love is not a good quarterback. He has proven that he is now playing as one of the best players consistently when it comes to the quarterback position. And so I think that he deserves a lot more credit for what he has done during his first 3 years starting in Green Bay, and I feel like this is a sign of what's to come in the future. If you guys want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below, but I appreciate you guys watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.